What's up, guys? Rick here. I'm doing my thing here. We're going to talk some boxing, and we're going to talk about, I'm going to get into some other things. I want to get into this Canelo Alvarez BS nonsense. I was just talking about titles the other day. How many times on this channel have I talked about titles? I should put this podcast back on the road. I once had it in iTunes. I could do that again. I'm entertaining that idea. Why not? So, we'll see. So check this out, guys. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy because the fight's coming up with Pacquiao, and Pacquiao is looking great. They arrived in Las Vegas, and there's so many things going on in boxing. Pernell Whitaker died. I got to touch on that. Oh, my God. That was so upsetting. I mentioned on this channel, it's not just because he passed away. I had a moment where I locked eyes with Pernell Whitaker. It sounds crazy, but this is a true story. I talked about that story on this channel. Real quick, 2006, and I was talking about how old fighters don't get any props. What happened to Whitaker? They just kind of disappear. I just want to talk about this before I get into the Thurman Pac thing. And Whitaker, 55, killed in an auto accident. Devastating, terrible news. Hall of Fame boxer Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. Whitaker was killed, oh my God, Sunday night in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He was just 55, according to police. At 10:04 p.m., they received a call from a vehicle, a pedestrian accident at an intersection in Northampton, whatever, and he passed away, guys. Pernell Whitaker was amazing. And let me just go to this article right here. I'm looking at Fight News at the moment, give them credit. Whitaker was one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time and considered the pound-for-pound best during a good portion of the 90s. His most famous fight was a controversial 1993 draw with fellow ring legend Julio Cesar Chavez, who was 87-0 at the time. Most thought Whitaker deserved the victory. Hello, I remember that. He was a 1984 Olympic gold medalist, and he won world titles at lightweight, junior welterweight, and junior middleweight, compiling a career record of 40 wins, 4 losses, won no contests with 17 KOs. This is awful. And doesn't it remind you of GGG with Alvarez? Boxing's corrupt. We're going to get into that too, a little bit of that. And how the same thing, I said he wouldn't be permitted to win GGG in the first fight with the big name at the time and the money man, Alvarez, and it was a draw. Isn't that crazy? Boxing is a scam. And Teddy Atlas, I always say on this channel, he's the one. He's the truth. He's the one. He's the only one that could speak up and say boxing needs to be regulated. He always says needs a czar too. I mean, this is just crazy. It's 2019. It's so unfortunate that Pernell Whitaker passed away by getting hit by a car. Really, what a champion. The best, one of the best. Floyd Mayweather, elite type fighter, ring general, bends down, Illmatic southpaw. He had everything, and he was robbed straight up. I also thought he beat De La Hoya, but this was just the 94 Chavez. It was in the 90s. It was just like crazy that he was robbed. It was just such a robbery. And anyway, I was down in Bally's in like 2006 or 7 for a Showtime, I believe, if memory serves me correct. And I mentioned this on this channel before. It's all in the videos somewhere. I don't know which one. There's so many. And I said, he came out. He was a trainer or assistant trainer to some guy coming into the ring. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's Pernell Whitaker. Nobody cared, really. And I was making a point of that before. And I'm like, Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker. And I looked at him and he looked at me. We locked eyes. And he was like, yo. And he looked so happy that someone was recognizing him. It was just crazy that to me and mind-boggling that we had the best fighter, arguably, of the 21st century in the ring, and nobody really cared and nobody really recognized him at all that I saw. Nobody really gave a damn. And maybe they were like not the biggest boxing fans. It was a little Showtime card. I think it was the Friday night Showtime bouts they had down over there in Atlantic City, and they would travel and whatever. And it just struck me as like, wow, I guess if you're not working with social media and stuff like that, it just, nobody was really giving props to him. And I did. And this guy was just amazing. one of the best ever. I mean, I can go on and on about him. I don't have no notes when I'm reading off of the thing here. I'm just going off the head, and I'm just stunned. This is news to me. As I'm reading the fight news here, I just put it on because I like get an organic, I guess, vibe. I didn't plan on anything but talking about the Saturday matchup between Thurman and Pacquiao, and Pernell Whitaker passes away. I'm really, really upset about this. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. What a fighter. What an amazing fighter. If you're not familiar with Pernell Whitaker, I suggest, if you're a fight fan, it's not that long ago. Just pull up those videos. This man had it. Oh, I love when he got down low. He would make people miss. He was like one of the first fighters. Like, I started watching, I think it was on CBS or something like that. I was just a kid and turned on TV, and this dude was just, who's this guy? Just lighting people up. He was like the Matrix before the Matrix was even a film. Pernell Whitaker was the man. I'm a huge fan, obviously, but it's just so sad to see a fighter go out like that at only 55 years old. It's just what a disaster. And it says he succumbed to his injuries. The driver of the vehicle remained on the scene. The case remains under investigation. Whitaker was one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time and was considered the pound-for-pound best during a good portion of the 90s. His most famous fight. He had some great fights. I'm just, wow. Let me just get off of it because I'm in shock. I don't like it. Yeah, boxing is just at a weird phase because we have the modern day now. Here we are in a modern world, truly, with digital technology, with many platforms you can go to and relive the tapes, the videos, instead of going into VHS. It's all there, and we could see the scamming going on. It's run by these individuals, these nefarious individuals, including De La Hoya. They're all in cahoots. It's disgusting. I'm going through these headlines, and I'm going to get to the Pacquiao Thurman. I just want to say this while it's right in front of me. Okay, well, I'll hold it up. The Canelo BS title that is made up. Let me just get to the Pac Thurman fight. A lot of people seem to be 50-50. I believe the last time I went on here, I looked at something real quick. I think Thurman was the favorite, and look, people are waking up. Of course, because of Pacquiao's age, it's very difficult to make a prediction for me to present a detailed scenario of what's going to happen. I'm largely right on big fights where I know two fighters. Josesito Lopez, I made the prediction on that, and I said he was going to, don't be surprised if he lights Thurman up. Exactly what happened. Thurman was out 2 years, elbow injury or whatever, and he didn't look good coming back. I don't believe he's the bill of goods you're being told he is, him and Porter, in my humble opinion, and my boxing expert, because I'm an expert. I outpredict legitimate boxing experts many times. Teddy Atlas is one of my favorite. And on this channel, I went back in the day, and on this channel, I outpredicted him. I was like picking fights left and right, fire. Just, they were coming true, my predictions. But what I'm saying is, I have to hold the higher standard for someone like Teddy Atlas because he's so awesome. But I just want to tell you that it's very difficult when a guy is 40 years old, and whether or not you think he's on PEDs or illegal substances, bad substances, and he's going to the ring, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying what's going to happen. We don't know how he's going to react. He looked great against Broner, who I think I mentioned on this channel. I did a prediction on that. I said Broner would win. Duh. Hindsight's 2020 with all that stuff. A lot of people look back and they act like this one I thought was going to win, but that one. But I like to just tell you who I think is going to win. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That just makes the predictions when I'm right all the more better for me. It's fun. It's like a game for me. My personal record of boxing predictions here over the years. And if you looked at the previous video, I told you reasons why I gave you. I thought Thurman would be beat. Thurman is young. Thurman looked very vulnerable and rusty. I don't know. He has that elbow injury. Maybe it's fixed. Maybe it's not 100%. We don't know how he's dealing with that. He might say it's great, but how is Pac going to react? How is Pac going to somehow have that electrifying night? And is Thurman just going to not look that great? Kieth Thurman has great power. Pacquiao still has some pop, but he never really had a string of knockouts after a certain period of time more recently. So Pacquiao has to win this on the cards. I am like in between, because I really don't know because of the age factor. If it was a younger Pac, no brainer, Pac would win this fight. But due to the fact that Pac is older, he's 40 years old, I don't know what he's going to bring to the table that night, but I'm going with the long shot. I heard the Vegas odds I just recently heard, I think this morning, are for Pac. Is that true? I don't know. I heard that, but I'm not too sure if I didn't look it up. I'm not going to look it up right now. But if that's the case, it's really incredible that a 40-year-old fighter, that says a lot about Pacquiao. It's quite a big nod of respect in how he looked against Broner. Now, we all know Broner was never that great. I was saying that long ago on this channel. I was sitting on a plane once and I did a prediction on this channel. And I told you Broner is not all about the billions. It's not happening. He's not that great. I saw that early. So Kieth Thurman, Sean Porter, and you have all these fighters in a modern world where we should definitely, the sport should be held more accountable, and it's not. I don't know why the government in the USA specifically, a lot of the big fights happen right in Vegas. How they're letting these criminals operate boxing. See, I could say this stuff. Allegedly. Let me just put the word allegedly, because I'm not trying to get interviews. I'm not trying to go to De La Hoya promoted fights, and that's not my business. That's not my profession. So I'll say what I want about it. I'll just give my opinion without worrying about it. These guys are crooks. De La Hoya came out when he first started Golden Boy, and he's like, oh, I'm going to make it good for boxing. Yeah, right, dude. It's all about money. These guys are crooks. Crooked crooks. You hear me? Crooks. Al Heyman, all of them. They got this thing wrapped up like the mafia, the boxing mafia. Now, I read about this. Let me use this as a segue into what I want to talk about, the belt. I just found this out. Dan Rafael, ESPN. Oh my God. Canelo Alvarez started this year. Middleweight world title belts, but boxing's biggest star now has a tougher task before relived. One of the sanctioning body organizations announced Thursday that Alvarez has been reclassified as the organized so-called franchise champion. Something the organization created, and that the interim title holder, Jermall Charlo, has elevated to being the world title holder when Alvarez outpointed Daniel Jacobs. Whatever, it's all confusion and it's insanity. Basically what they're doing here, just from the little bit I'm reading, I'm skimming through this thing's popping up with cookies. I'm in Europe reading this, and you have to go through these cookies, yes or no. The European Union's crazy. That's a whole nother thing. Basically, so he doesn't have to fight Canelo, one of the best, because he's a threat. And De La Hoya and Hopkins, they don't have a risk of fighting Charlo, who is Al Heyman's, I think, guy. Oh my God, they're giving him a fake title. They're taking one away. It doesn't matter. It's all horse garbage. It's trash. It's rubbish. This is just ridiculous. It's all about money. It's a scam. This is one of the reasons why I just stopped talking about boxing. Heck, I'm getting pissed off right now. I just might turn this into a reaction channel. This is pissing me off. This is pissing me off. The franchise champion is a special designation and status which the WBC may bestow to a current WBC world champion who is also an elite boxer and who has achieved and maintains the highest of statures in the sport, the WBC said in its explanation. Yeah, right, you're lying, crooks, you're crooked, you take your BS title and all your scams out of boxing. Really, Dana White should be running it because you got one title. I said that before. UFC, one title. You start introducing all these scams. This is a scam. Now, the promoters are friends with the people behind the scenes, the boxing commissions. It's all crooked. I just don't even want to talk about it. I'm a real boxing fan. You think I want to lay out money for this sport anymore? You're crazy. No way. I'm not going to fights. I'm not paying for this nonsense. This is ridiculous. So this is such a scam. It's just awful. It's awful. Golden Boy, Alvarez's promoter, wasn't at all upset with the reclassification, even if it means Alvarez, 52-1, blah, 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 of Mexico is no longer the WBC world title holder. Of course not. We're happy and glad Canelo's being recognized, Golden Boy Promotions said. This all has to do with dodging someone. This is so Canelo doesn't have to fight as mandatory. That means, oh my God, I'm dying over here. I don't want to talk about it. It's sick because I just want to curse. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Boxing is a scam. Boxing is corrupt. Boxing is a mafia. And the fighters are totally getting scammed on the bottom. And the big fighters, they don't care. Canelo, you think he cares? He's making that money. You think he cares about another title? Oh my God, he's just getting paid basically to sidestep Charlo. Oh my God, when Alvarez held the world title and Charlo was the interim titleist, the WBC did not order the mandatory bout, putting off while Alvarez was involved in his preparation for the unification bout against Jacobs. It's just a big scam. I'm sick of it. I'm done. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it. It's ridiculous. Oh, there's Teddy Atlas on the bottom. I wonder what he's talking about. It's pause on ESPN. What's this? Let me just check this out for a hot minute. Oh, this is the Alvarez Golovkin by majority decision. Teddy Atlas is the only one talking. Teddy Atlas is the only real one talking for boxing. He's the only one out there that has that reputation and people listen to, and he knows this is a scam without a doubt. Oh my God, this is terrible. Some made up, I just want to watch the fights. I don't even care about these titles. I don't acknowledge these titles. Now, what's that under there? It says Pacquiao can't deny Khan fight. What are they talking about? Khan fight? He didn't even get past Thurman yet. They're talking about Khan. Khan is over. I saw the clips of his last fight, the smaller dude. Khan, he would be knocked out by a 42-year-old Pacquiao, in my opinion. He's got no chance. I'm sorry. He's been hit too many times. Khan is just, he needs to just chill. He needs to enjoy the money. Billy Dibb was so much smaller. He was in there just to fall over and make him look good. And it's just weak stuff going on. I just can't get over, though, how these guys in the modern world are ducking and dodging top fighters. And everyone seems to be on the same page about it. The boxing promoters, commissions, they're all in cahoots. They're all in on the scam, guys. It's a scam. It's straight up shady. Politicians like money. They need to regulate the sport. There's a lot of money there. They need to get in like they did with baseball and everything else. They're sleeping. There's big money in boxing, obviously. It's like the Wild Wild West still in 2019. Get in there, clean it up, and kick out all the dirty people, the con artists, the pimp daddies behind the scenes that are just shaking down the sport and making it really ugly. Damn. And Pernell Whitaker, yeah, Dan Raphael, he's the senior writer at ESPN. He is that under there. It talks about Pernell Whitaker passing away. I'm just stunned. Anyway, honestly, I'm not one of those types of people that goes, oh, it can go either way. But when it comes to a guy being 40 years old, as far as Pacquiao Thurman, it's really on paper. Like I said in the first video, Kieth Thurman should win this fight. But if Pacquiao shows up and he's not too depleted, shop worn, he's not too exhibiting signs of age even more than we've seen him recently, diminished, he's going to win. He should win a decision if it's a really just decision, because Josesito Lopez exposed Thurman. I don't care if he's off a layoff. And like I said, Kieth Thurman is in a great jab, great footwork, really good fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. And he can knock Pacquiao out if Pacquiao shows signs of really being old in there and he's flat-footed and he can really get tagged. But Pacquiao, the way he looked in his last fight, Thurman's going to have a lot of problems with him still with a Pacquiao at 40 if he shows up looking like he did with Broner and Matisse. Because Pacquiao is definitely not the same fighter. And dare I say, Kieth Thurman is not the same fighter anymore at 30, coming off that injury. And he was hurt, and that adds up. Every time a fighter goes in there and they're blasted in the chin and they get shook up, that carries over in your career. Really, they're never going to be 100% again. And that's what's so messed up about these scam artists, just taking the control of the fighters. And De La Hoya should know better as a former fighter, but he doesn't care. He wants that money. So anyway, that's the name of the game. Boxing is the boxing mafia. It's shady. And I'm out. That's all I got to say for today. Peace out, guys. See you in the next video. Or audio, if you're listening to the audio. I don't know what I'm going to do with these things. I might turn them into podcasts too and put them somewhere. Peace.